Alrighty. Alright, Senator.
Check 1, 2.
Alright. Just gonna hold this right here for you. Senator, what sets you apart from your opponent, Julie Slamsky?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, Brian, is I bring the private sector experience to this job. And, I've been there 4 years now. I know the ropes. I've made a lot of good connections down in Harrisburg. And, I think I've been pretty effective, especially for a freshman. So, I'm kind of making the assumption that going into my second term, if I'm fortunate enough to win, that I'll be even more effective for this region.
And, folks watching TV, they see a lot of commercials. They seem pretty brutal this year. Attacks on you and attacks on Slamsky. Why is it like that this year?
Well, I can't speak for my opponent's campaign, obviously, but part of the mentality is if you get attacked, you kind of have to attack back, and it starts a vicious cycle. I wish we weren't in it, and I'm sure that her campaign wishes we weren't either.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know she's been on record saying that she's supporting people paying to go on Presque Isle, and what's your stance on that, her saying that?
Well, I think it was a mistake. I'm dead set against it. I know that she has changed, the talking points a little bit to she only wants to charge people that don't live in Pennsylvania now. But you can picture what a traffic nightmare that would be. It wowould be bad for tourism. I don't know where they would put the toll lane in. They'd probably have to bulldoze Sarah's and Beach Zero. And I'm opposed to the whole thing.
Yeah, no one would want to see that. Yeah.
No.
So your website says that you've not accepted a lavish state pension, but commercials say Slamsky did when she was working for the governor.
Right. Well, I don't know if some of the viewers that are watching this interview will recall. 4 years ago, I signed a no perks pledge. And what that was I said I wouldn't take a pension, I wouldn't charge per diems, and I wouldn't charge for my mileage. And I've stuck to that, right to the letter of it.
So what do you get for being a senator versus what Slamsky got for her state job?
Well, I believe it's right around $90,000 a year right now, and it comes with health care. That's all I've taken. And her after her big increase when Governor Wolf won re-election, her salary bumped up to about $115,000.
Got it. Now this might be a little bit of reiterating, but why do you think that you deserve, a second term in Senate?
Well, I've done a lot of good work for this region in the last 4 years. I intend to continue working on some of the things that I haven't gotten done. One of the things that I've worked on the hardest probably is trying to bring economic development and good paying jobs to this region. We've got the 8 opportunity zones now. Now, granted, I'm not a federal legislator. I didn't work on that to get it done. But when the states were allocating the opportunity zones, that was a competitive process. And I helped get all 8 for the city of Erie. And as you're aware, there's some investments actually starting to come in there that are going to produce jobs, and I'm really proud of that. And I plan to continue to fight for a CRIZ, the City Revitalization Improvement Zone, which would provide somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 million a year that we could actually help turbocharge those zones and attract even more companies to come in.
What would you say are your biggest disappointments?
Well, I think one of the biggest disappointments I've had goes back to trying to get a CRIZ all 4 years. And the governor has fought me on that the whole time. And what I find most troubling about that, if you actually read what a CRIZ is supposed to do, it describes the city of Erie to a T. I mean, it's what it was for, and it's a tool that we don't have available to us because the governor has refused to give us one, and I'm very disappointed about that. But I will tell you that it's going to be one of the things that I work on the hardest after, if I win re-election.
Mm-hmm. And the question I asked before, why you think you deserve a second term, you kind of also answered what do you feel are your biggest accomplishments during your first term?
Well, obviously getting the money for the Erie School District is just, it's been talked about a lot, obviously. But quite frankly, the 11,000 kids that go there are getting a better education now than they would have, and I'm pretty proud of that. I'm very proud of it, actually. So that was a big win. I know Sunday hunting isn't a big thing for a lot of people, but it is for the sportsmen in this state. So that helps statewide for a lot of people to have more time with their families to go out and do things in the woods, out in the natural beauty of our state. So that was one nice thing to get done. We did some regulation after that daycare fire. That was a horrible tragedy. It never should have happened, and this legislation that I got done at least should prevent that from ever happening again, God forbid.
Got it. And is there anything else you wanted to add about, why people should vote for you?
Well, I think one of the things that I bring to this position is just that I work hard, I'm honest, and I'm bipartisan. If somebody has a great idea that's on the other side of the aisle, I happily co-sponsor the bill, work with them. And I'll give you two examples. Senator Collette and I are co-sponsors on the Family Care Act, and Senator Street and I are co-sponsors on the Pharmaceutical Transparency Bill. And those are two issues that weren't that popular on my side of the aisle, but I took the lead on them.
All right. Unless there's anything else you wanted to add, I think that should be pretty much everything.
You got it.
All right. Senator, thank you so much.
Sure you don't want a copy or something?